We mentioned many times before on the show that insulin's necessary for someone with type 1 diabetes to survive, but there's also this element of people rationing insulin. Our next guest has had to do just that. This is Jeff's story.
In 2008, I went home to visit some family, and I felt like I was getting sick. I felt like I was running a fever. I was sluggish. It really had all the telltale signs of the flu. About 2 hours later, I started breathing heavily, uncontrollably. I couldn't get a deep breath in, and my mouth was incredibly dry. Something was really, really wrong. So I called an ambulance. The next thing that I remember is being wheeled into the ER. The doctor told me that a typical normal blood sugar is around 83, and mine was around 660. I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic. Hearing those words that you're a type 1 diabetic, especially in your mid-30s, is terrifying. Since my diagnosis, my world has completely changed. As a TV producer, I'm used to unpredictable schedules and long hours. With diabetes, your life has to be very regimented. It's a constant struggle. I need to check my blood sugar about 10 to 12 times a day. I have to give myself between 4 and 12 shots of insulin. Giving yourself insulin, it's not a perfect science. Over the last 11 years, I've really struggled with trying to keep my blood sugar in range. Being a type 1 diabetic is extremely expensive. Insulin costs have risen dramatically. There are times that I have had to ration my insulin simply because it's so expensive. It's frustrating that I have to make a choice between what I can afford and what's best for my health.
Everyone, please welcome Jeff to the show. And Jeff, so good to have you. You've been administering insulin to yourself for many, many years now. You just talked about some of the challenges. What's been the hardest part?
It's a lot of math that you have to do it on the fly. You need to know what your blood sugar currently is, and even that number is deceiving. Is that 150 going up, or is that 150 going down? You know, they want you to count carbs and take insulin as you eat. Doing that requires a lot of guesswork. And so, you know, a lot of times now I will eat and then wait an hour and see what my blood sugar is, and then give myself insulin instead of guessing and then having a hypoglycemic, you know, a low blood sugar event. Right. So it's challenging in all aspects.
Just want to remind everyone, with type 1 diabetes, you need insulin. Your pancreas is not making insulin. And when you think about someone without diabetes, you eat a meal. And what happens in response to that meal is your pancreas introduces insulin into your bloodstream, which allows that blood glucose to be absorbed up by your body's cells and used as energy. But in a type 1 diabetic, they don't make enough insulin. That's why you're constantly checking your blood sugar levels and trying to calculate how much insulin do I need with how much I'm eating, where my blood glucose levels are. If you give too much insulin, you can develop hypoglycemia, which can be deadly. If you don't give yourself enough insulin, you have high blood glucose levels over time, which can lead to chronic problems, as you know, or acutely diabetic ketoacidosis, which is an emergency. It's one I've seen far too often in the emergency department. And what's sad for me is when I hear about people like yourself, Jeff, rationing your insulin. You know, that increases your chances for complications from diabetes. And people know you can develop kidney failure, heart disease, nerve damage, eye problems. Jackson mentioned using the insulin pump and how it's really helped out in terms of managing his blood glucose levels. Have you ever looked into anything like that?
Yeah, an insulin pump would change my life completely. I have looked into it. Obviously, my doctor wants me on an insulin pump as well, but unfortunately, there's just no help from the insurance company. So while they're not denying me access to a pump, there is no financial coverage, and so just to basically start, you're talking about $10,000.
Jeff, I want to let you know we reached out to Medtronic, and they're providing you with their MiniMed 670G insulin pump.
Oh my God!
It's the insulin pump system that consists of the pump and a continuous glucose monitor to automatically adjust your insulin every 5 minutes to help keep those blood sugar levels at a stable level in the target range.
That is truly life-changing. Thank you. Wow.
And you know, the beauty is you can allow the pump to do a lot of the math for you. And we hope that this pump allows you a little more freedom in your life and also helps control your blood glucose levels. Keep in touch, and best of luck to you. And
thank you again.
Of course,